Hello everyone, welcome to Monday. It is now a game development live stream that we're doing where I'm going to be taking a game that me and Zavi worked on for some time in Unity and bringing it over into Unreal. So I have Zavi here with me to help out with some of the programming side of things and understanding the logic sides of that. You ready for this, Zavi? All right. So first thing we need to we're in Unreal now. We're in the game area. I'm going to do a blank one. I could do a third person because everything's third person, but that means having to adjust to some blueprints and stuff that they put in there and having to clear things out. So I think it's better to go from scratch. So I'm just going to name this. If I remember correctly, that's how we actually spelt MarPinGo. I think I got the capitalizations right. Block off, huh? Well, let me relook at that real quick. So is the stream showing? I will have to look at that. Okay, let me do some looking into that. Give me a moment here. Over here. Here. Give me a moment. I'm working on that. Live. Yeah, it shows that as live. And oh, that's why. It's set as unlisted. There we go. I fixed the problem. See, this is why I like having Zavi around. It's for these reasons here. He's able to spot stuff that I don't spot, and I'm able to adjust. And I've had viewers do the exact same thing. You know, they say, I can't hear your audio, or I can't hear your, you know, or I can't see this. Things like that. So there we go. Now you should have in Discord the direct view. Okay, so you don't want to be on stream? You said you don't want to be on stream, right? Discord, okay. Yeah, your mic is not picking up on audio. And on there, I'm being also. Yeah, it has it set up correct. I wonder what's going on. Let me try. Hold on one more. Okay, try saying something again. still not picking it up. I don't know why. Ah, Unity broke something. Or not Unity, but OBS. Okay, let's see if that works.
All right, trying this again.
There we go.
2, 3, 4, 5.
You're popping off. For some reason, it had on one channel, and then I switched to a different channel, and lo and behold, let's see. So we're in here. I want that stuff in there. I told it blank. What does it do? It gives me a bunch of stuff.
Guess it just gave you auto-generated terrain there.
Yeah. Let's see. I said blank, so let's go file. Recent projects. Not anything in there. Let's go new project. That. Cancel. Let's go file. Open projects. There's MarPinGo, which is what we're in now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, get rid of all this stuff. I don't know what to get rid of though. It should have just given me completely blank things.
Well, I mean, I think landscape is probably that entire terrain bit there. So
yeah, so we can get rid of landscape. Right click. Where's...
it might be under edit.
Edit.
Duplicate. I'm just hit delete on the keyboard.
Delete. It has delete, but it's freaking. It's blacked out. I like the comment you put in there. Start the week out right with scuff. So
now, I will admit for the record here, it has been a long time since I've used Unreal Ed.
It has been for me. We worked how many years in the Unity game engine?
Mm-hmm. And that was the main one we were with even back in college. I think the only time we'd actually used Unreal was, so I think that was like Unreal 4.
Yeah, Unreal 4, and I think it was the physics class.
Maybe physics. I remember there was a level design class that we had.
Mm-hmm. It may have also been in the level design class too, but yeah. I remember the physics class.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I remember the physics class is there being two parts to physics: the written exam and then making a level in Unreal. And we had to have rope physics, water physics, and some other form of physics. And the physics didn't have to be realistic, just had to look good and feel good. And the only thing I remember about the written physics was the smug look on your face when you outdid the instructor's statement of no one's gotten above 60% in my physics test. And just a smile on your face. That was great.
And to be fair, the way that course was kind of, I almost want to say marketed, which, I don't know, given the way the school was, I suppose is probably actually accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It was aimed primarily at artists. The person who was convinced me to go through for it basically said, oh, you're into game development. Yeah, sure. Well, you'll go ahead and you'll enjoy this. I was the only programmer in that entire sequence on there.
You were.
And there's another one or two maybe that were semi-programmer-ish. There's the one guy, Nick something, and I worked with him on like a kind of a side coding project. Kind of do a thing over in PHP. He had a side business he wanted to try doing. No idea how that turned out. Probably not all that great since he didn't really have a business plan. But I think he was basically the closest other coder, and honestly, he was more management than anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you give a test aimed at artists to a programmer when it's dealing with physics and math. Well, that's kind of what happens.
Okay, I'm creating a file called blueprints, and this is where all of the blueprint folders will go. So we got that. And okay, let's go ahead and create another folder. Call this assets. This folder. This is nothing like what I researched on. Mode. Add to the project. Go. This import content. No, that's not going to give us what we need. That's blueprints. Level sequence, no. Worry about that later. Project, select mode. No. Oh. Still. Should be under file. Okay. Lights, schematics, shapes. Don't need any shapes. I want to import the models that we have. Volumes. Yeah, the video I watched, something completely different. Guess they don't have.
Maybe a different version.
Yeah, the video what I was researching on had things that was like 1 year old video, so I think I need to find a newer video because once again they move things around. And yeah, for content creators that do constant development under that game engine, they're used to and up to date on those types of things. And with getting in new and fresh, it makes it a bit hard. Control. I'm wanting to import Gives me import there. Where else can I find import? Because I know I want to import. What I'm looking for. Looking through.
Oh, different layouts. That might help. Look under load layouts. Maybe check
Load layout.
UE4 Classic.
Might help. There we go. This is what I'm used to seeing. Here we go.
All right.
Starter content. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on this. I want to delete this. Delete. Because I don't want the starter content.
Mm-hmm.
What's it saying? Some of these assets are being deleted are still referenced in memory.
Yeah, so it's probably something in the scene that's used in like the landscape stuff. So
yeah, so we'll just force delete. Wow. When I ask for a blank project, I want a blank project. Don't give me stuff in it. They shouldn't call it a blank project if there's stuff in it. A blank project should literally give you nothing. You're starting from the bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this file still here?
There's probably those sounds I was complaining about.
Yeah. These assets can be gone.
Yeah, now they finally are.
And now they finally are. So now I can right click here.
Import to /game.
On right click here. Let's see, new folder. Now we'll go to prints. So that's where all the code will be, is right here in this blueprint folder. We're going to create in this one another new folder. Assets is where all of our modeling stuff will go. Our models, things, texture, stuff like that. Now, in assets, I've been debating, should I split it up and have like a folder for like the balls, a folder for the different bumpers, a folder for the course, the base course pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of how we organized stuff before on there. So,
okay, so what I'll do,
being able to quickly, pretty much any organization will technically work as long as you know exactly where to find everything that you're going to be looking for.
we'll put balls, and right click here again, new folder, shooters. Folder. I think all the course pieces, like the bumpers, stuff like that, anything that goes on the course should just be course in the course pieces folder.
Might be worth having. And subfolders are a thing too on it there. So
yes. So I could do course, and then in here, let's do field will just be the actual playing field. New folder, we'll do bumpers. flippers. Just need to get things set up correctly. See, there's bumpers, flippers, overs. Oh, nope, doesn't like that. So we need to do this thing. Yeah. Okay. Rollovers.
Also, your screen's a little bit high by about like a third over on stream.
Over on the stream?
Yeah.
On the stream, on my end, I'm showing everything looking fine. Oh, I know what's going on.
Viewport.
There we go. On the stream, that should fix it. I had that little banner thing up. That was covering the top part of it. So I hid the banner. We don't need that. Okay, let's see. Bumper or field bumpers, flippers, knockdowns, rollovers. Ooh. Here. New folder. We'll just call this goal. And that's where all of like the end pieces will go. Like the target, the bowling and marbles and stuff like that. Got that. So in this one, let's start with importing in first thing, which is the shooters. Want to import. Yes, this will do it. Okay, excellent. Game designs, normal golf data, not assets. Go back. We'll go up to art, models. Where's the shooter? Alley, angled ramp. Basic shooter right there. Open.
And thus the lesson in naming schemes.
Yes. Well, I have a basic shooter, so.
Yeah, but like if it had been shooter underscore basic, for example, that would have stood out a lot easier.
Yeah.
But anyway, when we started bringing all this stuff in,
there's the one for text.
We had a lot less experience.
Yeah. And now that, making sure that it's not going to import. Okay, import meshes.
Material.
Where's
copy for the texture? Towards the bottom of that window.
On. Miscellaneous. Materials. Do not search. I'll bring it in myself. I think that's all correct. So import. care of that. Whoa. Heck. VNFVX.
I mean, I did see it on there, but it's like kind of the origin point may have gotten a bit messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, there shouldn't be a skeleton. We can get rid of this.
Yeah, it may have been what it tried to import it as.
Yeah.
If it thought it was humanoid, for example.
Delete. Force delete. We do not need that. And there's rename. And underscore underscore there we go. We got that. Let's take the ball. Let's go here. Import. Bowling pins. It's been a long time since I've looked through all this. Maybe I named it M for Marvel. Got two
Marble
here.
1, Marble 2.
Yeah, let's go with Marvel 2. Let's see. Skeletons. Anything for skeletons? Yeah, skeletal mesh. No. Go ahead. I just import. Okay, so that. Rename M underscore. No, underscore. Enter. There we go. And now we just need some horse pieces. Let's put in for the field. No, not what I want. I'm going to delete that. Delete. Clicked on the wrong thing. I want add import for game assets. I believe it was this one. Not need skeleton mesh. Click on this one. Rename M underscore. I said underscore. 2. Enter. There we go. Let's add in another floor. The field. Import assets, import. Or end. All box. First. Try floor test. Open. Import. Okay, so this gets deleted. Delete. This gets deleted. Delete. That is not the one we want. That is a very old one. Import. That was floor 2 we brought in. Let's bring in floor 1. Then import. What is this? Let's delete that. Rename this. M underscore. Come on. M underscore floor. Okay, so we got the basic parts in. I'm not going to worry about textures for now. I want to start working on some blueprints. Go here. I'll create a blueprint. Now, what I'm going to do, first thing I want to do is I should actually, before we do that, we should probably put some floors, some assets in to sort of test things, right?
Yeah, just get them in world so that you can actually attach and see what happens.
Let's see. F, there we go. And on this. Whoa, things jump around quick.
Got a camera speed multiplier in the upper right there.
Say that again?
Looks like maybe a speed multiplier for the camera over in the upper right.
Oh,
scale you're working at, you might need a crane. Yeah,
camera speed. Drop that down. The heck? And there. That's a lot better. Up this. Here. Up. Over more. Up. Here. That allows me to move that way. That's a lot better. Almost like the exact same floor piece. What if I bring a ball in? Let's bring a ball in and see what happens. all look way too big.
I do recall there being some scaling issues with the way the FBXs were exported.
Yeah, I
Scaling
think
rotation
what I'm gonna
stuff.
have to do is I'm gonna have to go through the models and sort of change out their sizes, because I know that there's a difference between Blender size and Unreal size.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, ooh, do that. That should be enough. Floors still don't look right. Let's see if we can bring in. Yes, of course we got in. Let's go shooter. Basic shooter. Well, that model's right. Whoa. But it's pointing up instead of straight ahead. 8. I love that. Do you see what I'm seeing on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. I love that gizmo right there. Makes things so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me my percentages on the gizmo. That's just freaking cool. That's a UI effect I like.
Yeah, it seems like a minor thing, but being able to see it on the spot rather than having to look over onto the side makes all the difference.
Yes. There is. Oh. There we go. Still. Oh yeah, it's way okay. There we go. Here's the interesting thing. They got the size of this right. The ball, on the other hand, they did not.
I suppose you have to go look in at the FBX itself, see what the units were that it was set up with.
Yeah. Well, I believe the ball is one unit, which in Unity was 1 meter. One Blender unit was 1 meter in Unity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 0.10. I need to make a change in Blender to get it to sync up right. And I think I'll have to spend probably tomorrow. I'm planning on doing, or no, next week. I'll do a a live stream where I'm going through and readjusting all of it.
Well, it says when you would really need my help on.
Yeah, next Monday I won't need your help at all.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to get to the point where I do need your help.
Mm.
Let's go blueprints. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to create a function where basically, I mean, being able to rotate something, not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create the function of shooting the ball. So basically, I want this to shoot this. But I want to do it like we had originally, and the way I actually had it coded in Unity, where we had that slider here, and then and we can do a default slider for now, which will probably be horizontal instead of vertical. But a slider where you clicked on it, you dragged, and then when you let go, it'd fire off the ball at that force. Well, in Unreal, it's called impulse. So I'm thinking, let's see, let me read this here. Blueprints are special access. Base stand for like, yeah. So blueprints here. Blueprint function library. Blueprint interface. Macro library. Interchangeable and structure. Which one of these would I need?
I would assume class.
Yeah, so we'll...
It's encoding. That's what everything that does something is a class that has functions. It has
so
values.
let's go blueprint class. Okay, we want this to be let's see. I'm thinking either pawn or... Oh no, we'd want character then, wouldn't we?
So I think the difference basically between pawn and character, I mean, without having really looked at the documentation for this one, from how they're describing it there, I think character basically, it adds extra physics to it. It adds kind of basic like move, like WASD motion controls.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pawn is just something where it can actually, it receives controls, but it doesn't have the extra specific implementations on it yet.
So we use pawn then.
I think starting with pawn is probably the best one.
Okay, pawn, and let's see. What should we call this one? Maybe shoot?
Yeah, I mean, probably like shooter control.
Okay, there we go. Double click into it. Not the blueprint I was looking for. That brings up something different. And for the node base of it. I want to look at the C++ header. Could be that I just click in this and it brings up the node system, but it's not bringing up the node system. Okay, close this. Pull that. Wait a second, why is that? There. Now let's try. Nope, still does it. Ah, there we go. There's just a little thing you have to click on. So this is what we're looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right click. What we're going to do is action for this blueprint. We need apply a radial impulse, target physics object, blueprint library. Let's go ahead and cancel out of that. I want this one because it is targeted actor. Okay, so this is the one we want. But we want to do an impulse, right? That's the first thing we should do.
Well, if you look at it in order on there, before it can apply physics to something, it would have to create that thing.
Okay.
Before it creates that thing, it needs to be told that right now you're creating this. So I'd say the first thing you should look for is input. And like November.
Oh, input.
Yeah.
I put input.
Yeah.
Input. So mouse button, since I'm wanting to do the mouse button.
Well, what you're looking at there, those are questions about basically the key that was sent over to it. So, I think we're probably going to be looking for an input event because that means that it should be able to come in. But touch events. Okay, so we got some default mouse events in there.
Mm-hmm. So this is all just like control stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of these are all hard coded on it here, rather than.
Well, there's adjustable things you can do to it.
Yeah, but basically, so each of those, all these debug keys, these are basically the. Okay, so you don't have a customizable interface for it yet. It's just with the debug mouse left is just you click left mouse and then it's going to do this.
Okay, so I'm not needing anything from here then, am I?
I mean, ultimately you want it hooked up to a UI system, and then that UI is what the player interacts with through either the mouse or the touchscreen. But for now, if all you want to do is just get it shooting.
Yeah, that's all I'm wanting to do is just get it shooting, get that set up.
Yeah, so I'd say like mouse event, left mouse button.
Mouse button. Okay, so there we go. And then it's release.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to tell it what to do on release. Or actually, no. It should be on press for controlling the impulse. And then on release, it is where it would spawn and fire the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should do the impulse first, right?
So effectively, if you're doing that, you'd be setting up a variable that you're changing as you move the mouse around.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'd say first step for now, just make sure that you can actually do something without having to do a whole bunch of stuff beforehand.
Okay, hold on. We got a comment from Alamos, I believe is the name. And what we are making is we are making a sort of a mix between miniature golf and pinball with a little bit of marbles put into effect. Think of a miniature golf course with on the field a bunch of bumpers, flippers, rollovers, spinners, and knockdowns. And then instead of having a regular ball, you have a marble and a marble shooter. And you're using the marble shooter to aim where you want to shoot that marble. And it will go along the miniature golf course, hitting the pinball objects that are in there, gaining you points. And when you get to the end of the course, or the end of the field, instead of having a hole like miniature golf has or golf has, we have a little mini game that you play, and the higher score you get on that, better, or the better you do at that little mini game, the higher your score will go up. And then the objective is based on the length of the course and how difficult that course is, will determine how many strokes you have. If you're under par, you'll get even more points. So it'll take all the points that you got from hitting the objects from the pinball objects, add those up, and then it's going to take the add that to the score that you got from the mini game. And then if you're under par, it's going to add more points based on how under par you are. If you're at par, it's going to give no points. If you're above par, it's going to take away points based on how above par you are. And then this is also going to be a multiplayer game. That is what we're working on. Now, me, the person behind the screen here in the control that's talking to you, I am the 3D modeler and art asset person to this. Zavi, who's just talking, is an actual programmer. And since I don't know programming, we're building this through Unreal's blueprint system. And Zavi is here for assistance to help me understand the blueprint system and the way coding works to get the basic logic of the game working. So he's helping out with that, but you know, in the future there'll be more cool stuff from Zavi also. And next Monday, I'm actually going to be going into full 3D modeling mode for making some of the assets, because the assets didn't carry over correctly, because we were originally making the game in the Unity game engine, but we're not liking the way the company that owns Unity is going. So I'm moving everything to the Unreal Engine, and it's been forever since either of us have touched the Unreal Engine. And so we're just we're learning and figuring things out together, and you guys will be able to learn with us as we figure this all out. But anyways, Zavi, let's get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, so I was saying is I'd say just for an initial thing on it here, like don't worry about setting the impulse, don't worry about like the interface side of things. It's just for this moment, just to make sure that you can get something that actually behaves itself.
Mm-hmm.
Just have it, okay, you release the button, creates the marble, gives it a force. Just boom, boom, boom. Very simple sequence on it there.
Okay, so it's basically...
And then once you've got that working, then you can worry about the rest.
Okay, and we got another promise or comment. That's such a unique concept. I wish you all the luck with your transition to Unreal 5. Thank you very much. I'm hoping it will go smooth. And this is not a hobby project for us. This is something that I plan on actually releasing and having on different platforms. But it's going to take time. And I just want to show you guys small little bits of what it takes to actually make games, because so many people say, oh, I'd love to make games, but they have no idea. And so that's why I'm doing streams like this, is to show you guys what it takes to actually make games. And what a lot of people don't understand about game development is, yeah, you can go to school and you can learn things, or you can learn things on your own, but half the time we're constantly learning and having to re-up our knowledge on things. And that's sort of the main point of this first stream, is showing that we're having to re-up both of our knowledges on the Unreal Engine. And so there's a lot of Google searching, a lot of YouTube searching. I'd say, it's at least a quarter of our job. Wouldn't you agree, Savvy?
Yeah, I mean, when we, on my side at least, whenever I go in to code a project, I don't actually start writing any code for, minimum a couple work days worth of effort on it there, because first and even before all of this, even before we get so let's start that over. So first thing, the step that we've completely skipped for this series is the design document, because we already did that. We did that a long while ago. That part doesn't change based off of what engine that we're changing to.
Mm-hmm.
But then after you know, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here is all the details about how the game is actually going to function, written down in human readable form. Then we got to go ahead. We have to convert it over into what the computer is going to do. And from there, the very first thing I wind up doing is just chunk through the documentation, look for everything that looks like it might be helpful in actually accomplishing that. So, for example, and Controlled Chaos here has actually done a good chunk of that when looking into the blueprint system, where it's, okay, go through, so right now, all right, so we need to launch something with force, or we know that we need to use an impulse to do that. And it's effectively just like that. Just go through, dig things up, take lots of notes, whether mentally or not, on there. And then once you actually know where you're going to go, that's when you start putting it all together. And yeah, initially, especially when you're first getting used to a system, you want to take some small steps. Just, again, make sure that what you're learning as a foundation is actually correct. Just learn something, test it, learn something, test it. Because you don't want to go dropping a week's worth of work onto something and then find out you've done it wrong the entire time, because now you have to redo that entire week of work. I'm sure it's a good learning experience, but it's also incredibly frustrating and demotivating. So if you make your mistakes very small, you don't lose all that extra time in correcting them, and you're going to make mistakes. That's always, I mean, even besides just the fact that you're going to make mistakes with everything, with coding, with game development, it's going to happen. You try to minimize it by planning ahead of time, but even then, the implementation itself is going to jump up at you.
Yeah, and I'll give a good example of that. When I was researching into how to use the blueprint system and stuff like that, I actually found a very helpful video today. And all it said is, don't make this mistake I made with the blueprint system. And it was a developer talking about how he spent years making this game and got to this point of using the blueprint system where everything was entangled into one another. And it made things really, really hard for him to solve this problem. But then he found a way to untangle everything, but that meant that he had to redo his whole entire blueprint system all over again. Because it was all connected and jumbled and becoming too overwhelming with the original way he was doing it. And so I'm having to go through and I'm going to watch that video like 10, 20 times just to ingrain that message and what he's teaching on using the blueprint system so that I don't run into that problem with this project. And so, not only are you researching on how to implement your game in the game engine you've chosen and how to work with the game engine you've chosen, along the way, you can also learn tips and tricks on how to smoothly do things to save you time in the future and to keep yourself from doing mistakes. And that's always a good thing. If you're into doing game development, I suggest you don't follow one YouTuber or one game developer that's making games. Follow multiples of them that are working in the game engine you're wanting to work in. Because each of them will teach you different things that they've learned, and you can pick what will work right for you and the project you're doing. So let's continue moving on. So we're wanting to put in what? It was impulse or...
First, you're going to need to make sure to create the item to actually give an impulse to.
Which we need to reference the shooter, the basic shooter.
Well, I mean, you're working inside the shooter right now.
Yeah.
So what you need to create is you need to create the marble. So that's probably going to be a spawn type command that you're looking for.
Come on.
WN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, a spawn actor.
So spawn actor from class.
Yep.
Okay, and that's going to go... That's going to be on release, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to plug that into there. Let's see. So we want that as actor.
Okay, and so we may need to actually back out from here, and over in your content system, so you've got the marble as a mesh.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make an actor for the marble so it actually knows, okay, this isn't just a shape. This is something that is going to have physics. This is going to be something that can actually do things.
Let me go here. Let's go to assets. And go to the ball. Open this up. The
So that's going to be the details for the mesh itself.
Yes, but if I remember correctly, in here, there's something for physics. No. Physics right here. That. Okay. Don't want to ignore those. Apply impulse on damage. Don't. Let's see. True if physics should be.
It looks like you're actually going at things a little bit backwards on here.
Okay. What am I doing wrong? Because that was my thought. Being a graphics person was.
So basically, everything that basically exists in the game world, or that is basically capable of interacting with things, is an actor. So actor is basically the basic part of everything. And then an actor will have a static mesh. It will have a blueprint system.
Okay.
So the first thing that you're going to want to make is not all going to be on there. It's going to be you're going to create a blank actor.
Okay, so I need to go back into the blueprint system.
Not necessarily on that, because it doesn't. Because a lot of stuff's going to be happening. The marble itself doesn't necessarily need to be scripted, and if it does need to be, then that can be added on later. But for now, it's just going to be this is what a marble is. So you can go under balls.
Okay, so where do I need to create that actor? Where should I put that?
Again, so I'd say for now you can just go over into balls.
Okay, and let's right click.
Yep.
It's not a blueprint, you said.
Right.
Artificial intelligence. Not full age, not effects, not gameplay. Input. No. Material, no.
Because I mean, the way that the little quick starts are going on here is you actually place the actor out into the world first, rather than being in kind of the material editor.
Okay, so like I have this ball here.
Right, but right now you're looking at the mesh editor, so you want to back out from that and go over to the actual game world side of things.
That's right. So I want this.
Well, even that's just a static mesh. So over on the left where it says actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just drag that out into the world first.
Okay, there we go. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, now inside this, then like where you see details over on the right, that's where you add a static mesh to it.
Okay, so actor.
Up.
Oh, actor. There we go.
Well, not even that. So you see where it says details, actor, then you've got the green little plus arrow for add.
There we go.
Yeah, now you add static mesh.
Not blueprint script. So, static mesh?
Yep.
That's where I just call this ball, right?
I mean, effectively, that's the model itself that you're assigning to it.
So what should I name this?
And you could just call it mesh. Because as far as the rest of it is concerned, it's going to be the...
Okay, so I named it mesh. Okay, and
now you should be able to... Yeah, that little box there, you should be able to assign it to the Marble 2.
Marble 2, there we go. That's been done. So I got all that done.
Yeah, so now where it says actor itself, that you're going to want to rename. So that...
Okay, so actor itself I want to rename.
Check under the general tab for that.
Under the general tab?
Yeah, like general actor, miscellaneous, streaming, down, left, too far.
Here?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right there where you've got actor highlighted in blue. That's the left of that is general.
Oh, general. Okay.
Okay, so it's not in the name.
Miscellaneous.
Okay.
Let's check advance. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Miscellaneous.
Okay, top of the details panel, you can rename it. Okay, so maybe just right below where it says details. That actor there. Yeah. It said when you hovered over that, it said rename. So go up 2 lines. One more.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're calling this let's see. Because this is shooting the ball.
Well, right now this is the marble itself.
Okay, so let's name it marble.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, and now try dragging that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like where it says like marble instance over on the right there.
Mm-hmm.
Try dragging that back into the content browser.
Dragging that into the... So drag that to here?
Down into the content browser itself so that you can actually have that stored.
Okay, so drag this.
Once that's adding the stuff. Okay, that's that part. Okay, yeah. Just it actually is going to be converted into a blueprint class. So that little button just to the right of add.
Okay, so this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be.
And then
enough.
just keep it at where the ball is, or should I put this in the blueprints?
I'd say for now, just leave it over inside the balls because.
Okay.
So with the way it looks like on here,
okay,
I think they're using blueprints in effectively 2 terms.
Yeah.
Which is going to be confusing. You've got blueprints as in
and code
prefabs, which is what we had over in Unity.
Physics. Yeah. Taking the mind some bit of time.
Yeah, so you got the blueprints as the visual scripting element, and you got blueprints as prefabs.
Yeah,
so right now you've got a marble prefab that's waiting around for you to use.
So let's go back to blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to rename this. Rename. Oh, no, I did name it correctly. It's got the BP in front of it. So we're going back into this one, right?
Right.
Okay, so we got this.
Yeah, so now you can go under select class.
Select class. And look for the marble one, right?
Yeah, there should be inside here. There you go, marble blueprint.
There we go. So we got that there.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what's next. So we got that there. Left mouse button release. And then so we need to add a force, right? Or impulse.
Yeah, so after.
So it should go here, right?
Oh, first, and take a look over at spawn transform.
Spawn transform.
Yes, that's going to be where you select effectively where it's going to pop out into the world.
Okay. So this, so it's going to pop out. So we're going to need to create a actor for the shooter then, aren't we? Because I want it to spawn out just in front of the shooter.
Yeah, so we should be able to do is take the shooter control that you have and then apply that to a blank basically to a blank actor. So yeah, so you need to make another empty actor, give it the shooter model, give it the.
So let's go into shooter, and that's where we went here.
So it was out into the world.
Oh, that's right, out into the world. That's right.
Yeah.
Here, let's close this. So we have the shooter, and that's where we went. Right-clicked here. I remember again.
It's over on the left.
That's right.
Under basic.
Left. Oh, right here. Add. Right?
So that's, again, right now you're looking at the mesh. So you want to create an actor first on the left over under basic.
Oh, that's right. Actor.
Yeah.
Take this. Drag this to there.
And
that's where we go actor.
Now you go under add and then
that's
add
right.
static mesh.
And static mesh. We'll call this.
And you can just leave it with a default name. You don't because that is going to be part of it. So
okay, so we got that. And that's where the static mesh.
Yep. So it's basic shooter is not in that list. Interesting.
Huh. Because I have it right here.
Something happened on the import. I mean, you've got it existing out in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, try this. Try just drag it from inside the content browser over to that box.
So drag from here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it got imported as a skeletal mesh. That's why it's having problems. Look right there where it says basic shooter. Okay. Yeah, you have to re-import it.
So let's go ahead and delete this. Delete. We're going to go ahead and delete this. Delete. Right click. Import game assets. The basic shooter. Open. We just want to be a regular general mesh.
Yep.
Import.
Yeah, now it's a static.
Yeah.
Now you can just drag that across.
Now I can drag this over. That's what the problem was. Voila!
Yep.
And let's also do rotation on the Y, which is blue, by 90 degrees. That way, when it brings it in, it'll rotate the mesh. Instead of rotating the mesh, I rotated in the actor, which should control the mesh. See, I am thinking here.
Yeah. But
it just takes a moment.
So that was the Z-axis you're rotating around.
Yeah. Because it was pointing up. When I bring this mesh in, it's pointing upwards.
On it.
What was that?
Go ahead, just focus on it so you can actually take a look at it. Because you've got it in world, so you should be able to click in world and then F to focus.
Let's see, I had this on 90. Enter. Click here. Click there. F. Yeah, it's too small. There's that. That. Static mesh. So it shouldn't be this one then. Be at 0. And there. Oh, so touchy.
Yeah.
I can't see it well enough. Oh, okay, I see. It's rotating. Okay, never mind. So we need to rotate on the...
I think the first time around you did it on the x-axis, so the red.
You may be right. We'll do 90. There we go. Yeah, it's not going to get any closer. Okay, and then what we'll do for now.
Yeah. Anyways, now that you've got a mesh assigned to it, the details of it can be.
Yeah, we can work on that later. Okay, so we got that. We got that created, and then that's where we clicked on this.
Yeah, convert it over.
And then...
Yeah, blueprint name. Down below there.
Oh, that's right. We need to create the name.
Yeah, name it shooter first there.
There we go. Now we do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, now you got shooter blueprint, assets shooters, all right.
Okay. Voila, there's that.
Yeah,
so we're all done there.
Now, if you go under the blueprints folder, you should be able to grab... Well, it's not like you did a whole lot in it here, so you may as well just actually delete that, because it was just two things that you added in. Put those back in fast enough.
So delete these two things?
I say where you've got shooter control as a blueprint class, I think you can actually just delete that in and of itself.
Okay. So I'll close this. So delete this.
Yeah.
Delete. It's gone.
And now go to event class over in the shooter blueprint that you're actually working on.
Okay, so let's go back to the shooter.
Yeah, you've already got it selected. You're in its editor window.
Oh, yeah.
So now you see where it says event graph. You should be able to go back up to there and start working on the code part of it.
Event graph.
One more. Right.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about this totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that you need to create the blueprints and then assign the model to the blueprint.
Yeah, so effectively it's you create the actor, then you assign a mesh, you assign a model to it, then you create scripts built in around it.
In a way, it is sort of like Unity, where you have an object and they're all sort of condensed together with the code connecting to the objects and stuff like that. It's just this is all done through actors.
Right.
Okay.
Where over in Unity, the basic thing is a game object.
Yes.
That's just what it's called. Then here, the basic thing is an actor.
An actor. Yeah. So for those of you who have used Unity, actors are your game object. There we go. Because that's where when I'm dealing with game engines and I'm trying to learn them, that's the hardest part I have figuring out with the game engine is how does the mesh work with the code? Is it an interface thing? Is it a code thing? And trying to figure that out, sometimes you just have to dig really, really deep. And when there's not good documentation, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. I'm gonna right click here. And this was, what did we create? Oh, it was spawn, right?
So first you were looking for the mouse event.
Oh,
so
that's right. Input.
Yeah, that was further down below this section. Yeah, left mouse button.
Left mouse button. So we got that. And then I can get rid of these, right?
I'd say leave them where they are because you might want them later for something. Because it looks like those are effectively some default ones. So you've got event begin play, that's going to be when it's like when the game starts. Then you've got if something collides with it. Then you've got tick for every time that the world updates.
And then it was spawn from actor class, or spawn actor from class, right?
Yes.
That. Okay. And just to let you guys know how I'm moving around is I am right clicking to do this. Left click selects. Middle mouse button does nothing. Right click lets you drag and move around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then that's where we choose our marble blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in there. And then that's where we connected this to this, right?
Yeah, so release the mouse button to spawn the blueprint.
Oh, that's right. Release. Okay, there we go.
Right, and so now you need to hook something into the transform so it knows where to create it.
Okay, and that's where are we hooking into the transform?
Well, what options are there when you click on that?
I have to drag to here.
Okay, well, actions providing transform. So we've got. Yeah, so go ahead, take a look over in transformation. It should be there. All right, so get relative transform.
Okay, so this one?
Okay. Yeah, transform of component relative to its parent. Yes, grab that.
Okay. Oops. This. Here. I'm going to move some of this out more.
Yeah.
This to here. Because I just liked it. When I do these blueprint things, I like to have things nice and clean.
All right, so that one is. That's looking default scene routes. We should be able to do. All right, so over on the right there where it says default value, under details.
Oh, okay. Under details.
Yeah, so
default value, yep. That's where we look for the ball, right? Or no, the shooter?
Yeah, that's where you're going to be starting from the shooter. But it's not up there. Yeah. This is a case where it would have helped if I'd actually read through the material instead of just you, but okay.
Yeah. But, okay, so this is the... Well, couldn't I just grab this shooter and pull it into there? No. Maybe the actor. Nope. I know it's not the mesh or the texture.
Well, under variable, where does it say advanced? Like under advanced down 3 lines? Not that far.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Oh, expand that out. Okay, so those are just flags. All right, don't worry about those. Close that out again. All right, maybe we're get relative transform. Let's take a look at the target inside there.
Get relative transform.
So over on the event graph, if you actually click on the
this
green
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so target is scene component, and then when you click on target itself, that just leads back to there. So we need to adjust that. But then we're also going to be doing some math over onto that as well. Because we need to basically go forwards a little bit. Because you don't want to start it right on the computer. Because how we were doing it before was effectively it starts right at the very end of the model and then pops out from there. So it's like it's actually coming out of the barrel.
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
So let's see. We need to go. Because we couldn't get from here. I need to see nothing there. Next. The way I've seen this done is differently. It actually has where it shows the model and you can actually move. There's like a red arrow showing where it shoots out of, and you can like change that direction of the arrow and the distance and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember how to do that part, but the main thing we first need to do is get the target. And why it's not showing up the shooter, I have no idea.
Well, I think part of it may be is when you look at the hierarchy for the shooter itself, it has an item that's basically called the default scene route inside of it. That effectively it's kind of its origin point, its core for the transform. Okay. I'm finding.
Well, we're already in the shooter.
Yeah, so default scene route should be.
So we should be good
to
then.
That. Yeah, and okay, so then it looks like basically you're going to be putting between the two. You need add actor local offset.
Okay, so between this and this?
Yeah, so basically just go ahead, create a node out there first, and we'll see if we can actually find it.
And let's see, it was add offset?
So what I found on the guide here says add actor local offset. All one word.
Okay, add.
Yep. Under transformation there.
Yep, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have this.
Yeah, so from here, you plug default scene route into that under target.
Target, okay. What?
Okay, all right, so it's default target itself anyway, so you don't actually need that. So you can go ahead, delete default scene route.
Okay, so delete that. And then so I can take this, and I take this and plug this to here, right?
Oh, so it's
blue to blue. No?
Here, seems a little bit blurry. I can't hard to read it. Delta something there. It's basically where you've got the yellow.
Yeah.
So you might not even need get relative transform in that as well. But so delta location, because if I'm reading this right, it's saying so it targets itself, so it's looking at its own transform. Now you're going down along one of the axes, so your X, Y, Z. So you'd have to see where you've got pointing down. So let's see. So Z is the vertical going that way. So rotate 90 degrees, so it should be going straight down the Y axis. So set the delta location Y to 1. So that should basically put it 1 unit in front, and you'll be able to fine tune that later.
Yeah. So go like that.
Yeah. Now you should be able to drag from delta location over to the spawn transform. Maybe.
Nope.
All right. Close on there. Well, we know that we need to transform, so let's see what other nodes we've got in there that have to do
So
with
delete
that.
this node?
Keep that, because we know that has information we need.
Okay,
now we just
so
need to
let's
get from there.
So you said transform?
Yeah, so right now you're looking at functions. So then we're already basically so we've got the information.
We already got the
from
function
there.
So let's see. Well, here I can just go transforms.
Yes, we've got this.
Can't resize it. I'm gonna go from here, and you just let me know when you want me to move down.
Oh, and here's something that also doesn't help: is that the ones that gave me were from Unreal 4 and you're in 5.
Yeah. Do you hate when that happens? Hey. Hey, Axel, how's it going, my man? So let's see. Actor local form, we already got that one in there. Oh, no, that is what we are. We are using.
Okay, so these. Here is the actual reference that says, here is everything that we have. That's the thing that I always wind up going through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a documentation that is apparently the most difficult to find on here.
So one thing people always say about the Unreal engine is documentation is not that great. Well, let me do a search myself here, see what I can find.
Mm-hmm.
Go to here. Yes. I like that. Us Dutch don't complain about the weather like the Brits. Yeah, the Brits just seem to complain about the overcast weather all the time. See, that's the thing. Okay, that's something the Netherlands and people that live in Oregon and Washington, the Northwest, have in common. We don't complain about the overcast. We don't complain about the weather. And we can always pick out the tourist. If the person has an umbrella, they're a tourist.
I think it's different if you move up into Washington, but for Oregon at least.
Yeah, Oregon. Definitely in Oregon. I know that for a fact. Hey, Sticky. So, I'm not actually writing the code, Sticky. I'm using the blueprint system in the Unreal Engine, and I have Zabby, who is a coder, doing that. So, give me one moment here. Scots have accepted our fate. We're a land where the sun never rises. Ah, that's good. Okay, yeah. I gotta give it to you. You're right. The Scots and the Irish aren't as whiny as, weather-wise about the weather. Because I watch, I follow GCN, Global Network Cycling or something like that. It's a YouTube channel. And they're always complaining about the rainy weather and it being cloudy and stuff like that. So,
Okay, so I found part of it here. So we got the Unreal Engine Blueprint API reference. Unfortunately, first thing on it, disclaimer, Blueprint API reference is an early work in progress, and some information may be missing or out of date. Strives to reflect all available nodes, but is not guaranteed to be an exhaustive list.
Doesn't really
this
help,
is why documenting your code as you make it
exactly
is critical, especially if it's something that you're delivering to people to use.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Okay, so actors.
Oh, the Fallout show. I actually just finished watching that. That is a really good show. Here's the funny thing. Critics are slamming it. They're just like, they use a stim pack. A stim pack wouldn't heal things like that. That wouldn't work. They're not understanding. It's a freaking video game. You can't be so realistic. And critics are getting slammed out. Where are they getting slammed on like Star Trek and the Star Wars shows where everything's sci-fi-ish also? I mean, come on, guys. It's a show. And, slamming a sci-fi show for realism, let's get real. You can't slam a sci-fi show for realism. Unless it's something that's supposed to be like modern day sci-fi type of thing. Where they're using modern day tech and not futuristic stuff.
I mean, in there you're getting into the difference between science fiction and science fantasy.
Yes.
That is a thorny set of bushes to dive into unless you're ready for a long conversation.
Yeah. I have all night.
We got another 14 minutes.
but.
Okay. All right, so looks like one note that we want on here is going to be get actor transform.
Okay, so let's go get actor. Okay, get actor transform. This one right here. Got it.
All right, so it's targeting self.
Yep, and then this.
Yeah, so that basically is it looks right at itself, and then we need to modify that.
We're going to create another box, right?
Eventually, I mean, basically keep that one there, but to me, I see what is there under variables. Okay, I mean, it's basically just expanding out the variables category. So go ahead, delete what you've got in the search box there, and scroll down a little.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Hold on one moment. Having a problem.
Yeah, you wound up unselecting the part we were looking at.
Yeah, so I need to take this, drag this out.
Okay, so nothing useful in there. All right, still digging. And this gets into what I was saying earlier about going through the references for everything. Is if I knew what it was called, then I could say, okay, just go do this. But instead, I need to go ahead and read through this and try and find something.
See, and the thing is I have to do mine all of my reference stuff and material stuff. I'm better at watching a video and someone else do it than reading. If I do it by reading, it takes me 10 times longer than a normal person because of my nystagmatism, which makes my eyes shake. I have to read things 10 times more than a normal person does. So, while he's looking at an actual reference manual or, reading, I'm surfing through YouTube trying to find a video on sort of this to do the same thing. So we're both actually researching this. It's just he's doing it in a reading way because if I'm correct, Zavi, you pick up things quicker by reading them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stand watching tutorial videos. It's just, they take too long to get to the point.
Yes, so I'm forced to go with the tutorials because they're actually physically showing me how to do it. Whereas if I read it, I have to read it 10 times more than a normal person. So it's quicker for me to watch the video than it is for me to read it. Because if I watch, let's say, a 10-minute video on how to do something, even though like half of it's just getting to the point because they're like, sorry for this issue on the channel, and the channel's changing and doing this, the first 5 minutes is all of that, and then the last 5 minutes they finally get to it, I can put up with that. And if you guys notice with my videos, how often do you see in my videos where I'm doing a guide or a how-to, do I talk a lot about the channel and changes going on with it in a video? Versus how often do I quickly get to what you guys clicked on the video for? I personally think that I get to the point right away, and I get a lot of comments about that of saying, thank you for getting right to the point. After I've gotten to the point and taught what the guide is about, that's when I might bring up some other things. Such as, check out this video here, or like or subscribe, or comment down below on your thoughts, or, hey, by the way, in the future, I'm going to be doing this. That's always after I give the information. If I ever don't do that, and I always do the reverse of that, where I'm doing a talk around first, and then I'm getting to the point of the video, comment on the in the video with like an emoji of being slapped, because I never ever want to do that. You're lucky, Axel. I wish I could read stuff and learn from it, but when you have an astigmatism, imagine trying to read a paragraph and your eyes are always jumping up and down and left and right, and try to read that whole entire paragraph. And while your eyes are jumping around, you're missing letters and things like that. That's why when you first started joining in on these live streams, Axel, I was calling you Alex, is because of my eyes jumping around. That E was getting moved along with the X. And so I was swapping those around and things like that. And that's why I was accidentally calling you Alex instead of Axel. Yeah. So I'm gonna continue talking to you with you guys while I'm still searching here. Of course. Everything's on spawning characters and spawning enemies.
Okay, so it looks like over on the editor, expand out the math section.
Math section.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Expand out transform.
Okay.
There. Over into that. And so we can create a vector from it. We've got the source here, so there should be an option to basically just create. It looks like we've got an actual make transform, which is, okay, you've got location, rotation, scale, which is effectively what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to make an updated. Okay, I think. Okay, click outside of that and just we're creating a new node under math and make transform.
Okay, so go like this again?
Not from there, just over by itself.
By itself. Okay, so make. So this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and now we have. So you've got add actor local over to the right there, where you've got its default.
You mean this one?
Yeah, the resolution that I'm getting off of Discord has made that fairly unreadable. Okay, so can you drag from Delta location over to over to location under make transform?
Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me switch these around.
Okay, so delta location only comes from in. Okay, so add actor local offset. Like that one actually just straight up moves the core actor itself.
So we don't need to make transform, right?
Oh, that's going. I know we're going to be using that to get the transformation for where we're going to create the marble at.
Okay. That will stay up.
Yeah. Worst part is, code-wise, I know I can dig this out, run the math, and then just be done with it. It's finding all these little visual components that's causing me the problem.
Okay, so, Axel, question about the developer kit. Here's the great thing. Unreal has changed their pricing module. It used to be like $10,000 or more per license for Unreal Engine. Now what they've gone is they've gone the route so everyone can use Unreal. You can download and use Unreal Game Engine to make your game now. You can publish your game. Once your game publishes and it's made over, I think it's like $200,000, then they start taking, I think it's something like a 10% or 5% royalty of profits. I have to double check on the percentage, but basically they start taking a percentage of the profits instead of you having to pay that 100K or 10K, somewhere in that range. You know, they had a huge different range of gambits, you know, because like, you know, big game development studios would pay like 100K so that everyone had a license for the game engine under the game studio. And then, you know, you'd pay even more to get direct support from Epic, because Epic made the Unreal Game Engine. Now, it's anyone can use it. There's no upfront cost and things like that. And they just take, like I said, a percentage of your profits after you make a certain amount of money. And I know it's in the hundreds of thousands. And I think that's really good. And now they don't say that you make hundreds of thousands in profits. They're talking in overall. So if your game has sold and made in total 100,000 or 200,000, wherever that amount is, that after that point, that's when or Epic starts taking that 5 or 10% of your profits after that point. Now, it varies, because if you do an exclusive and just put it up on the Epic Game Store, they take less of a percentage of profits, because they're also getting a percentage of profits from the sale in the Epic Game Store. So they give you a cut on the percentage of profits that they take off of. In fact, they might even just completely get rid of it, because they're getting their profits from the sale of the game on the Unreal or the Epic Game Store. I have to look into that. I just know that they have a far better monetization than the Unity had. Originally, Unity, it was, free to use, but then after, you know, you make so much money, we're going to take a percentage. And it was equivalent to what or Epic does for the Unreal Engine. Now they're like, oh no, you need to put down a couple of $1,000, and then after so many sales, we're going to take this percentage, plus for every download there or new install of the game there is, we're taking 20 cents. They keep on stacking and grabbing more money from developers. So yeah, the Unity game engine was good for independent developers originally, as what caused the Unreal Engine to go with the marketing or the monetization that Unity was using, which got a lot more people using the Unreal Engine. And then Unreal went this direction of, oh, now you gotta pay for this. You gotta pay us even more after you made so many sales, and for every install you gotta pay us. And it's just like, no. And that's where I walked away from Unity, was they were just trying to grab into developers' pockets too much. Whereas Unreal and Epic is straight across the board for everyone. It's the same thing. And it's one flat fee unless you're like specifically on the Epic Game Store for PC, then it's a little bit different. And that I like a lot better. Yes, Unity did kill themselves. They shot themselves in the foot by doing something like that.
I'm pretty sure what happened was the finance people got in charge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, for any company that isn't primarily finance, like if you're not a broker, if you're not a bank, you don't want the finance people in charge because they will take it away from whatever its original purpose was. And I mean, yeah, there is the whole, okay, if you've got investors, you've got a duty to make money for them. That's established in US law, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to go through, and this is what the company's about. This is what this is kind of the core behind it on there. And Unity lost that. Someone changed its direction and decided, okay, rather than making an engine that people can use and then will pay us to develop the engine for them to be able to use it, it's these developers are now our entire cash flow sort of thing, where it's everything that they make down the line is we want a cut of it, and it just gets too greedy.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think we should actually make this a stopping point so that you can go and get some sleep for work tomorrow.
Yeah, I found some of the stuff necessary. I'm just still trying to track down the bits to actually plug it all together.
Yeah, and I'm going to do some research over the week myself. Just remember, next Monday, Zavi will not be here. It's not because he's not wanting to be here or can't be here. It's because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking all of the models that were being used for the Unity version, and I need to convert them over to the right sizing to work for the Unreal Engine. And so I'm going to be going over and doing that next Monday. So you're going to be seeing some more modeling stuff, but it's how to convert things over to work with the Unreal Engine, which will be nice. And it's going to be some rinse and repeat, but I'm going to be here to answer questions you guys have. And of course, as usual, chat with you guys. But overall, I think we've made some good progress because, well, we got assets in here. We got things into the world. As you can see, we got our ball right here. We got our shooter, which is really small. And this is what I'm talking about. This ball is supposed to be smaller than the shooter, and it's not. In the, with the way it was set up, in the, Unreal or Unity game engine, these are the correct size. In the Unreal Engine, they're not. And this is where I need to go through and redo some stuff. So, I think we'll leave you guys here. I want to thank you guys all for stopping by. Anything you want to say, Zabby?
Oh, just for anyone going into development, read all the documentation first so you don't run into this same mess. Have a good evening, everyone.
or research as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I recommend. The best way you can research, whether it be through reading or videos, do that. I agree with you exactly, Zabby. Have a good night, everyone.